Our consultation with various groups across Scotland uncovered true life stories of people's struggles with bad housing and homelessness, and real evidence of how these issues link to long-term health problems. I've had the privilege in the past of developing policy with others, and that's great fun. You start with a blank sheet of paper and you end up with lots of words that hopefully inform the agenda that you wish to take forward. But it can be pretty dense. For me, the real excitement about this, the real challenge about this, was making a difference to people. To hear these stories and to understand the difference in people's minds about a house versus a home was so powerful, hearing it from these people who had been traumatised by their experience. I was taken aback by the descriptions that I heard of the impact of sudden homelessness. I had actually not thought that through. I thought you progressed from a position where you were not homeless to homelessness, but it was a deterioration in the situation, not something that just suddenly happened. Some of the people that I met with shared with me the real feeling about what a home was and what that meant and what that did to your status and your feeling of well-being. But others talked about their house in a very detached, non-emotional way. In other words, a place where I just happen to have to sleep, but it's not an environment that encourages me to be proactive or involved in any way in major decisions in my life and in the way that I behave with other people, because I just want to go and lock the door and hide away so that I don't have to see the kind of criticism that is obviously there in their eyes. How an individual was seen or felt to be seen or perceived herself to be seen was so significantly different than when she had been working and she had had a good job and she had been very self-contained and she lived in a very good community where there was mutual respect. But suddenly she felt that she didn't want to interact with that community because she was being judged, because she was no longer financially stable the way she had been before, because her house was deteriorating because she couldn't afford the maintenance, rather than because they knew her before and they knew what her personal worth really was. They judged her as a homeless person or somebody who was unable to cope with different circumstances. One of the men that had a discussion with me indicated that he too had had real difficulty with heating his home. But a part of that was about the kind of home that he had, and no matter how much was spent in heating, it wouldn't have made much difference. So rather than waste the money, he didn't do it. But he got rehoused, and the heating system was good. But he had to take the decision about heating versus eating. And he chose heating. He had been so long without that. People need to be able to achieve a stable foundation from which they can build a home, and important to stress, home as opposed to house. Well-designed neighbourhoods with strong communities. Housing that contributes to positive health and educational outcomes. And for all of this, we need a greater supply of affordable homes. By acting now, we can help to end this inequality and create an environment where current and future generations in Scotland can prosper and flourish.